Welcome to the Isle Chat podcast with me, Beth,
Josh
and Ryan.
This podcast is all about exploring the big questions, the small moments and everything in between.
Whether you're stuck at the shops, in traffic or just looking for some inspiration, our chat is here to keep you engaged.
It's time to talk, connect and find meaning in those everyday moments.
Welcome to the Isle Chat.
I bought them for Effie's christening because it matched the outfit that I wore on that day. You were there, you should know.
Yeah.
And then I've not ever worn them since. That's why they're so white.
Great little intro to the podcast there.
And I thought I had these like Jamie Redknapp-esque pants on today.
Are you going for the Jamie Redknapp look?
So, yeah.
Because I can see...
What would Jamie wear?
Do you know what? I actually told Beth that story when I got in last night. Which, our American friend, the Bentley.
It wasn't even a big deal. I was just standing there by the door.
And you've got to do the accents as well.
I can't do the accent.
You do it.
You nailed it.
So basically,
nailed the
I was standing
accent
by the door at the Bentley, which we did a wedding fair at yesterday. Me, myself, and Joshy there. And while I'm standing there watching Gary Barker, shout out Gary Barker, perform, and I'm just standing there by the door, and this lady comes over to us, who's been flying around, by the way.
Standing there, tensing, doing the Jamie Redknapp look like this.
I went at all.
Smouldering.
It might have looked like I was tensing, but that was just me natural.
Being on the gym, haven't you?
Being on that gym, as you know, next level, shout out. Where's my camera, by the way? That one.
It's funny, you've been through off, haven't you, a few
massively.
times.
But I'm standing there, minding my own business, and this woman comes up, totally out of the blue, and goes, "You know you're handsome, right?" And I went, "Sorry, what?" She said, "You know you're handsome." And I went, "Me?" She said, "Yeah, of course you." And I went, "Not me, love. You might be getting me confused with someone else." She said, "No, surely your wife or your girlfriend tells you every day." And I went, I think the novelty's wore off for her, to be honest with you. She's a fair distance in. And she went, "Well, I would tell you every day." And gave me this like smouldering look, and I thought, right, Ali, get yourself back to my little store.
I seen him like shuffling over to me and I thought, mate, are you alright? White as a ghost.
I was a sheath.
Nah, to be
You do
fair.
attract them.
Attract them?
The older ladies.
No, I mean like women who compliment you. You attract them, don't you?
I'll take it.
Is it not a silver fox? You're not fully silver.
It was that hat at Jess and Thingy's wedding the other week. Did you see me with that hat on? He hasn't released it yet. You took a picture though, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt like I was your...
Oh, it did actually with the
I look like the man from Del Monte.
I've never seen that, so I don't know what you're referring to.
Yeah,
but even at the Bentley yesterday, he got a photo with the violin guy, which was hysterical. What's his name? I don't know, Mr.
Violin around. I don't know what his real name is.
Right, the violin man. Basically, it's funny the fact that you went over to him, was like, "Let me have a go, your violin." He was like, no. And Ryan still continued to pick it up.
Light though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you shouldn't have picked it up.
I mean, as he said, no, I asked first. As he said, it is only a piece of wood. But I expected it to weigh like a guitar. When you pick a guitar up, you can feel like you've got a guitar in your
You play the
hands.
guitar, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a guitar in there. But this violin weighed like next to nothing. And then he went, "Go on, make a sound." And I swear, what was it like?
Yeah,
it
made me realise.
You can tell. I think most people would just assume that it's like a slow strum. But I think when you watch violins, they're always like ragging it down. Because as soon as I done it hard, it made a bit of a better sound.
Right. It wasn't the only instrument.
That was me career.
That wasn't the only instrument that you attempted that day, though, was it?
No.
Got a video of you with co-starring with Gary Barker.
Gary Barker co-starred
seen
when he was
that
on.
video as
I
well.
made a request for him to sing
Duet.
Teddy Swims' "Lose Control," which I think is his best song that he sings because it matches
Remind me
his
of
voice.
how that song goes, by the way.
Can't. But while he was on, he was like, "This is for you. This is for you." And I thought, "Oh, gotta get up with him, haven't I?" But the lad who you know, I think, the bongo lad, Alan.
Yeah.
He had his bongo drums just so happened to be there while I was standing next to it.
Again,
So-
Ryan doesn't ask, just picks things up.
No, well, it was funny because I thought they were Tom's, you know, Bongo Tom or Beats by Tom.
That's the one.
Shout out Beats by Tom, who's on actually next week, so I'll watch this space. But I thought they were his, which is why I just picked them up because he was standing there and I thought, oh, I'm in the right company here, I'll just pick them up. And it wasn't, it was your mate Alan's, and he walked out to me picking them up and he looked at me as if to say, "Where the fuck are you taking them?" I was like, no, I'm just putting them on. But he buzzed off me because he went, "Why have you put them around your neck?" It's like the strap went around me, and you put them on your waist.
I watched the video back, and what was quite strange was anyone who gets like bongos plays the bongo, and you're tapping like the wrong end of it.
No, I was tapping the end because you can't play the bongos to Teddy Swims. It's like a jazz number.
Right, okay.
Bongos don't go with that.
Video anyway.
That'll get posted at some point. When Gary
When
comes
it's
on, we'll
big.
promote it.
I think I
saying,
might make a big deal out of trying out other vendors' stuff. at
Maybe
Wendy's.
that's a new channel
you know,
for
like,
you.
You know, like the art. No, I'll be on this channel. You know, the caricature. The
Have
other
a go
day
with
at
that.
Jess's, so I'll have a little go with that. Have a
That
little
was
draw.
that was absolutely hysterical. Ryan had his little moment again where
Are we going to Wedding on the Weeks?
yeah, we'll touch on Wedding of the Weeks. That was one of them.
So this Wedding of the Week is actually a good one because it was a joint venture between Memory Box Films and Rolling Stop, our two companies, if you didn't know. Jess and Ben.
That's the
at
one.
The Hillbar Hotel, a venue I've not shot before. I don't think you have.
Neither have we yet. No, never shot it before.
5-star, proper full residency, wasn't it? You could tell.
Yeah.
2 Rolls Royces sitting out front. The lot. Like
Conrad's finest.
Conrad's.
We got to know
Conrad's tutor, personal live-in tutor where he lives at the Hillbar, came in as we were like milling about. And we were like, oh, nice.
Conrad, your tutor's here.
That was the
Wake
shout.
up. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, yeah, I like, get up.
We're not buzzing off Conrad, by the way, because Conrad's we seen and he just looked like he was
Conrad's a child.
living life. Yeah.
Well, we didn't know at first because he was behind this door and we thought it could be like a 50-year-old fella getting like violin lessons like Ryan in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's not 50, don't insult him.
No, we ain't putting years on you, like, you know. But,
30 years on me.
And then we obviously met him. But at that wedding in particular, there was the caricaturist and Ryan had this moment where he thought, I've got me chance today. The fella was there for 2 hours.
Well, the people who would have listened to the last episodes, which we would have put out before this one, we talked about that moment, didn't we? We didn't get that.
Yeah.
The Jess and you got one and I didn't get one.
That's been mentioned a few times in this pod, I think.
So
It
you
happens again.
You didn't get one again.
I didn't get one again. I sat there and waited my turn, let other guests go. But I think the fella whose name I can't remember didn't want me to sit down in the seat, if you recall. Because I went, is there a queue for this or who's your next on and stuff like that? And he went, I don't think there's a queue. Basically saying I haven't got no one. And then some kid stepped out from behind the screen and just went, we'll have one. He went, okay then, yeah. And he was like, he was looking for somebody else to draw other than me. Drawing the staff behind the bar and everything before he drew.
And you were fuming.
But I wasn't bothered because we got an ice cream out of it.
Which was sound fellas, by the way.
Boss fellas whose names I can't remember, which we'll get and post them in the
Yeah,
bio.
they were great. We spoke to them. It reminded me of like a dad and son relationship, and by the end,
But that's why I asked them, are you related?
yeah, and they weren't related.
Perfect.
That's what people must think about me and you, I think, at weddings, dad and son.
Yeah, you the dad.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a great day.
Yeah.
The weather was perfect. It was one of them days where if you could have the weather and even like the way the day ran smoothly, fireworks as well.
Fireworks, yeah.
It was just perfect. Which makes me want to touch on to another wedding that I did just before theirs at West Tower, Nick and Steve's.
Shout out West Tower.
Shout out West Tower. It was a brilliant day. They were just the Scousers family ever. But I was pre-warned before I walked in, it was going to be the Scousers wedding I've ever been to. Not, he didn't go, we're dead Scouse, so watch what you... I just got the vibe straight away. Kathy Griffiths is it, the hairdresser. Absolutely love working with her. She's always like, just dead motherly towards you, you know what I mean? When you turn up, she's always like, hiya Josh, you're okay? How's the family and all that? She's like so nice.
Like that, yeah.
So she sort of, I wouldn't say looked after me in the morning when I turned up, but
Nice to see a familiar face.
it was nice to see a familiar face in that environment because they were lively. Like the Crystal Suite, the door was wide open as I turned up, and I thought, okay, it's a bit unusual. Normally it's shut, wide open, and I could just see like the girls all going like, woo! And I thought, do we drive off now or do we stay? Do we go in? What do we do? But yeah, that was a boss day. I'm trying to think of the weddings that we did recently.
Well, I can think of mine because I did one other wedding. Caitlin and Tom, just had to recall myself there, at the Hilton Hotel. The one in Liverpool one as well, not
say that,
the
which one?
Doubletree,
Yeah.
the official Hilton, which I'd never done. Again, I'd never done that before. So I had 2 venues I'd never done in that week. And that was a good day. Very young though, I must say. And this is an insult to them. I think he was like 24, she was 23. So
Wow.
I think that's young
Yeah, it is
these
young,
days
yeah.
for weddings. Not that there's like a, you have to be married by or whatever like that. But they had an incredible day, to be honest. Very intimate. There's only about 40 people there.
That was similar to Jess and Ben's, wasn't it?
It was very similar.
Starting to notice these intimate weddings, but then I had a wedding on the weekends, Helen and David's, which was the opposite. It was like over 100 people in the daytime.
I think it's because nobody wants to pay 100 times 60 to 80 pound per head. That's probably why people are reducing them numbers now. They're onto it. Go, why would they invite me cousins who are like proper meths anyway?
Oh no, can't say that.
Well, you can. About your own family.
But speaking of inviting people, obviously we had a wedding fair at West Tower, just gone. the week just gone, and we got a booking which you already have. So you're going to be the photographer. We're now doing the video from the booking.
You're welcome.
And I couldn't believe. So he's from America, isn't he?
Yes.
Come on again. He's from America. She's from Liverpool, and they're flying his whole family out from America, paying for the flights, paying for the visas,
Paying for the Airbnb.
So they're already starting off, obviously, like 10 grand up before they even paid for any weddings. And I just thought, I could not believe I would not fly anyone over.
No. But it's important to him, isn't it? And I think she alluded to a connection which made that day more important than us, that they were at the Manchester Arena attack a couple of years ago. And I think both families are both in the mindset of their day needs to be their day, because obviously they've...
No, I think it's amazing, like, that they're doing it, but it's a lot.
It's a big expense.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the American one when we can all fly over there.
I know, yeah. When are we going back?
When are we going back?
You have done this one, but...
Speaking of America, just touching on it, I was working with Louise Griffin. Just because I said Kathy Griffin.
Shout out Louise Griffin.
Shout out Louise Griffin, but obviously she's...
Actually, she calls herself a legend, didn't she?
She did. I was working with her on that Helen and David's wedding at Owen House Barn, which is great, singing waiters, loved them. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Why did that make you think of America?
Because she lived in Florida, I think, for a while. And she kept calling me dude all day, which is a very unusual
I reckon
term.
Now that you... Because I didn't know that she lived in America.
Dude.
Now that I know that makes more sense, because she called me Jude? Jude, your child, Jude. She called me dude the other week at the...
How did you feel about it? I feel like you sort of match that energy. I'm like thinking of dude, where's my card? And everything, like proper, yo.
No, I was all right with it.
You're like Jamie Redknapp, aren't you? Too cool for that.
Today.
Only
one,
today,
one
though.
night only. Jamie Redknapp, please.
But no, I'll be happy to get our guest on.
Yeah.
Are we straight away?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Without a break and everything. I'll go straight in.
I'll have a little break.
Our intro this week, see how I tried to marry them up, is for a special person, a self-confessed workaholic, operating within the stationery world. From wedding invites to Christmas crackers, baby showers to funerals, our guest can cover it all. A girl boss in her own right, along with being a wife and a mother, it's our newest friend, the paper doll.
Hi.
Welcome to the Isles Chat.
Whee!
How's things?
Good.
Good. Did you like Ryan? Was you impressed with Ryan's intro?
Yeah, I mean, you covered it. Yeah.
I mean, I only took it from your bio on your website, so it's nothing that you didn't already know.
Frenchy mummy, you missed that one.
Frenchy
off.
mummy. Well, I wanted to get into that. I wanted to get into
the
that.
top.
I know. For all those dog lovers out there, which there are many.
People are getting onto them intros now. They're like, isn't that just people's Instagram bios or like the about page?
I'm not
on the
that
website?
creative, you know.
Everyone thought
I'm
you
a
was.
photographer, man. Yeah.
But
Here we are. We've already obviously done the hellos outside, didn't we? So it's
Yeah.
a bit customary, but hello.
Hi.
hello. Give us a bit of info on like your
I think
approach to
from
the day, I would say.
well, like from an initial inquiry, because it's not just on the wedding day, it's like the whole build up to the wedding day, like the invites and everything else that comes with it.
Yeah.
So
Give us a synopsis. What does a normal...
So we'll often know brides for years running up to their wedding, even like 2, 3, 4 years before, sometimes 5 years before.
Seriously, that
yeah, like sometimes can start off many, many years before, and obviously with COVID, it's gone
Oh
on
God,
and on
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Changes
But
everything.
yeah, so from save the dates to the first part to give all the guests the date and stuff like that, and then going to the invites, which are usually like 6 months before the wedding, and then all the on the day things as well. So we're there for like the full journey, but then don't ever actually see a lot of the
See the
weddings.
day. I know.
Yeah.
I think we were talking to somebody else about this yesterday, weren't we? About like the certain suppliers that we know and see. So like people that we can build up friendships with. And then there's like people like yourselves who are like, we'll see your end products but never actually meet.
Yeah.
It's just such a shame, really.
because
So
you're
behind the
obviously not
scenes-
setting them out on the day, you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
pre-delivered.
You've given them, haven't you?
And
Yeah.
I used to always want to set them out on the day, like when I very first started, because I wanted to go and see all the venues and things. So we would, but most of the time we're just another cog in the engine, in the machine of the wedding, and it's easy for the hotels to do that kind of things and stuff like that. So yeah, but now and again I will go to the wedding, if it, not go as a guest, but go and set things up and stuff. But
I think
yeah.
I think you're well within your right to. You've probably put enough time into them, haven't you, to deserve a seat at the
I want
table.
the pictures, do you know what I mean? Yeah, unless I know the photographers. I don't ever get to see the pictures, or I'll have to ask the brides to send them over. So yeah. It's always nice to actually go and grab me
I
own.
definitely probably with your work in particular probably gets used a lot for like flat lays, which is a big
every single time.
Yeah.
All the
We're
time
always looking for
now.
the stationery, aren't we?
And that's become bigger and bigger and bigger as
I think
well
so.
over the years, because I feel I got married in 2017 and that wasn't as much of a thing. So I never took my invites and stuff away with me. And I thought I missed out on all of those pictures and stuff. Yeah.
Did you do your own then for your own wedding?
She was going to ask that.
Yeah. I was so up the wall with my own wedding though, because it was major pressure. It was so much pressure because I knew it had to be like probably the best that we've ever done, and everyone was asking like what themes are going to be and stuff. So I literally had like a mixture of everything in my invites. It was like a box of stuff. I think people needed like a day off work to go through all the stuff that I put in this box when they got them. But yeah, and because it was 2 weddings, it was like 2 different themes. So
I think that comes with the territory, doesn't it? We said this, Mimi Bell said this as well, didn't he? Like, when it's your wedding day, when you're a vendor in that industry, the pressure is on specifically for your line of work. Like, for yous, who you're going to pick for video, for me, who you're going to have for your photos. Like, it becomes a much pressured.
I think though for us, I think we get away with it a little bit because we can't do it for ourselves in the day where you can do it. You could do that for yours. Like, it's a pre-thing, isn't it? It's like you're doing it beforehand where on the day for us, we get away with it really. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
And you had 2 weddings, that what you said?
Well,
Yeah.
Because I was obviously having a little stalk this morning.
Yeah.
And I think I know the destination of the venues, but just fill us in. Where did you get married?
So we got married with 50 guests in Vegas.
Wow.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I did think it was Vegas. I was like,
That's how you do it.
Yeah, we couldn't believe we got 50 people out there, but it was 2017. We were like young, all our mates knew and had kids, and you know we were starting to buy houses. It was the right time for everyone. But I knew the minute we got engaged, I was like, it's now or never. Like we've got like a year. So I got engaged. Was it the January 2016? And then it was the September 2017. We got married. Yeah.
And did you take all? Oh, you must have took all your stationery with you to Vegas.
I got it shipped out because we had that much. I had like I can stand 300 quid it cost me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not even extra case charges, that is it? That's like proper,
And I had an
like...
extra case as well. And even I was still packing just before we were going to the airport, and the welcome sign wouldn't fit in the suitcase, and it was absolutely murder. I didn't think it was going to be a wedding because me and David were going to kill each other. And
he's probably like that. It's not that important. You're like,
It's everything.
he was accusing me of being in the pub with the girls, and he was like, "That's why it's not done." I was like, "I wasn't. I was saying bye." I mean, it was. And it was in the middle of the cart. It was nice, but yeah. So I then had to get one of the bridesmaids to have that posted out as well. So that arrived before the
When you were
wedding.
in Vegas, did you do the Vegas thing where you went to like old wedding chapel and all that, or did you go somewhere else?
It was like I wanted to surprise everyone because obviously like I've seen so many like West Tower weddings and all that in my job, so I wanted something to be completely different. And Vegas was the one where I knew everyone had to expect Elvis to marry us in a chapel. But I wanted to shock everyone, so we surprised everyone. We kept the venue secret. And then took everyone out to the desert. So we got married in the winter, so that was quite traditional, like Vegas, but like nice. And then took everyone out to the desert, and it was like overlooking all of the desert there.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
It was gorgeous.
I must
Yeah.
admit, not like
Insane.
pre-assuming, but I just thought like I wanted the Whitechapel,
Yeah.
Elvis.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
obviously you've done it
I think that's like
different.
the stereotype, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, what everyone thinks about, but that's just based off the
Yeah.
films and that, isn't it?
But I would like to do that
sounds
for a
well
vow
better.
renewal, though, you know? Like, I feel like I need to do the tacky version for the vow renewal. So I've got 3 years.
I feel like I love
I was
the
gonna say
pictures.
that,
I love the pictures of a chapel Vegas wedding. Like the
Yeah.
pictures
Yeah.
are just so cool.
Yeah, I
like,
love that whole idea, like short little dress and go a
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
wild.
Glasses.
Yeah. I did keep threatening though in the run up to the wedding. I was like, should we just do it in a chapel for a laugh? And he was like, no, like we paid all this, we're
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
there.
We,
Desert sounds boss though.
we did a wedding like last year, the year before for Katie and Danny, and they got married in Vegas, and they did that like, but the what was
She had
it?
like a short dress on, didn't she? But she had like there's pictures of them with like the the love heart sunglasses on, and like bottle of champagne and like a pizza slice.
Yeah.
And they just
These just
so
looks like
cool.
magazine vibes, you know what I
So
mean? They both just
cool.
sat on like a curb,
All, like, black
in,
and
like
white.
black and white. Just looks, and then some of them weren't showing like the Vegas lights and like the theme, like the color theme of Vegas, and it just looked unbelievable.
Did
But
you then have a home wedding? Sorry.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that started off as just a simple party. I was like, it's just a party. It's just like, you know, whoever can't make it to Vegas, just
I love
a
the way you
party.
say that started off.
Yeah, and then I knew the coordinator at Formby Hall at the time. She's left now. And she was like, well, you know, like you could have a barbecue and all that for a party. But she was like, you know, wouldn't it be nice if you had like a sit down meal and like, you know, like did the day again? I was like, what a great idea. I was like, let's do that.
You did a full...
Yeah, I had a ceremony and
like 2 wedding
everything.
days.
My uncle is a pastor of his own church, even though like we're not religious, but he did us a blessing as well. So
So
yeah,
you did get married twice,
I mean,
essentially,
my
then,
nan
didn't you?
was like, my nan was 80 something at the time, so she got to be there and everything like
amazing.
that.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then we had a special surprise for all the guests when we got home because. So as we got on the plane back to Vegas, I said to David, right, it's time for a dog. We need to get a dog. So orders a Frenchie and whatever.
Wait,
you know.
go and order a Frenchie.
Orders a Frenchie.
Just go on Amazon and order a Frenchie there.
drive through.
Even though I was like, you know, we're not committed, we'll go and visit him. And literally got off the plane and went to visit him. And then he'd only just been born. So I was like, right, okay. So obviously he'd only just been born and we had 6 weeks between Vegas and Formby Hall. So I was like, we'll...
You haven't wasted no time, have you?
No, not at all. I was like, well, you know, we'll get him just after the wedding when he's like 8-9 weeks old or whatever. And then the breeder was like, no, he's ready to leave. 6 weeks is far too early, realise that now. But yeah, said he's ready to leave 2 days before Formby Hall. So I was like, oh my God, everyone that we know is coming to the wedding. We're going to have to walk this Frenchie down the aisle. So I held him.
Even
I
better.
surprised everyone.
It's like having
And
your
my
kids
mum
at the
held
wedding,
him up.
innit?
It was like the Lion King at the end. She was like...
I've never seen Matty smile so much in my life. He's a dog parent, so he understands all of this.
I think we ruined him though, you know, because everyone was like stroking him and everything all day. He literally stole the show. I mean, I didn't even need to be
The
there.
wedding was a secondary thought, wasn't it?
But then for some reason he's got a real attitude problem now. Like
Got
a
the
real,
ego.
Yeah,
Everyone
like a
loves
really
me.
bad like small dog syndrome attitude going on. Yeah.
I love it. So when you got married in Formby and you got married in Vegas, just from our end of the stick, did you get like a photographer, videographer? What was your day looking
I
like?
was pricing up photographers in Vegas, and there was the most amazing one. Like I still follow her now, and I still think if I have a vow renewal there, I will have to get her. And she was based in Vegas, but it was literally like, I want to say it was like £5,000 an hour. And that was in like 2017. Wow.
We're in the wrong geography location, us.
And she was unbelievable. And I was going to David, you know, maybe like two hours. And he was like, sorry, have you lost your mind? So I was like, yeah, we can't do this. So, because I even messaged her, like, you know, being deluded. And I was like, oh, let's book you. And then I remember thinking like, I've lost the plot here. Like that'll be the whole budget gone on 2 hours of photography. So you get some included in the win, but that was just for there. So I needed another photographer to be off the strip. So I ended up taking a photographer with us. So she was known as Vicky O'Brien then, but she's now Willow and Wild, based in Scotland.
Yeah.
So I was like, Vicky, do
We
you want
know
to come
them.
to Vegas? And she was like, okay.
Of course I will, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't imagine anyone saying no to
It's a
that.
big expense, but obviously it's worth a lot cheaper.
Well, because she then came to Vegas and then did Formby Hall as well. So yeah.
Nice.
And her work's unbelievable as well.
Yeah,
isn't it? Like,
amazing.
it's really good.
So she was like, but she was part of the day.
Did
She
you
was
do photo
amazing,
and
Vicky.
film or just photo?
Do you know what? A little bit of film, which I think she just started at that point as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was lovely. And like she come with us. We literally had to go and chase the sunset in the desert, and we were literally on the side of the road getting pictures. It was amazing.
Sounds boss.
That, I
Yeah.
was going to say, when you said like chasing the sunset, I
Yeah.
was like,
I think
that is what
that sentence-
everyone wants,
Yeah.
don't they, at the wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, it was unbelievable. But all the others were on the party bus, having all the shots and everything like that. So I do still feel like, even though that was gorgeous, what I was doing, I did feel like I missed out
FOMO.
on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do must admit, I always think that about on wedding days, and where we say to all our couples all the time, it's like, this moment now when we go for photos, it's entirely up to you how long you want to do this for, like, because we're so conscious of people feeling like they're missing out on what's going on with the guest.
Well,
That's
we
why we
always say
try
that
and play it where the guests are being
There's so
sat
much
down.
planning and so much parts that people put into the day that sometimes they don't get the chance to enjoy it all. Like you'll put in things like photo booth, 360 booth, caricature was that the other one the other day, wasn't he? Like all of these things, and sometimes you don't even get round them all or don't get to speak to all the guests or whatever. So it's tough, isn't it? But like
One
you say,
thing
like
I felt though, I was probably, because I'm in the industry, I felt as if in my head all day on both weddings, probably I was so aware of the order of the day. Like I could, in my head, I was like looking at the fan all day, the things that we make that have like the itinerary on, and I remembered like clocking each point, right, this is happening in a minute, this is happening in a minute. Whereas I thought if I was a real bride, you know, then
You was a real bride.
you know what I mean? But if I wasn't on the other side of things, I might not have been as like, oh, this is happening next.
Was
and
you
this
very
is happening
conscious
next.
at the time then because of the job you do?
Yeah, but then obviously, like everyone says, it just goes, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It
it does
just
go.
goes.
It's just a day, isn't it,
But I
basically?
was so worried for after it because I thought I'm going to get the wedding blues so bad. And I think I did to a certain point, but then I had a friend.
I was just about to say, you had a new dog, bro, so you did 2 of them?
Yeah.
So I would
yeah,
have been
after
surprised-
Formby Hall was quite,
yeah.
I did sit and cry the next
Did
day.
ya?
Yeah.
That's sad. And I,
I think, but because obviously you work within the wedding industry, you're still seeing weddings, so it's probably nice,
Still
be
help.
involved.
Oh yeah, and I feel as if from that point it was amazing for business. I've got to say, it was probably one of the best things I did business wise was my own wedding. Yeah.
There we go. Love.
Right, Beth, this is us now on the
That's it,
videos.
we're there finally.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
But advertising and stuff like that. And I did what was, I mean, even like Mimi Bell, her wedding was bang on trend. Like, and that she said, didn't she, that everyone sort of started changing to her theme.
Yeah.
And it was exactly like that with mine.
you.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
Did you, so this is what I said to her, when am I having a blank? Dom and Natalie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I said to them about it, obviously it was Natalie's wedding. When you were planning what you were going to have, was you thinking this is going to be the next big thing for everyone to start using off the back of yours?
It was weird at first because I wanted to go different. I always try and go different. And in some ways, like I kill myself over just trying to be different sometimes because we see things all the time, don't we, in the industry?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be the same. But 2017 was the blush and rose gold era. And so I was trying to stay away from that. But I think sometimes you try and stay away from something so much, but it's popular and everything around you is surrounded by all those themes. And I thought, I can't beat this. And it suited Vegas.
Yeah.
And it even suited my home wedding as well, even though that was a winter theme. So I was like, let's do it.
Because you got married in September and then it was like October when it comes to
It was the
Formby.
November.
so
Yeah,
early
first week in November.
yeah.
So it was a slight Halloween winter theme. Yeah.
Perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pink pumpkins everywhere.
Is that what you had, pink pumpkins?
Pink pumpkins, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd come to this
I
wedding.
know.
Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing.
The more we talk about everyone else's wedding days, you just get FOMO, don't you? About like, oh, where was I?
Why
Yeah.
weren't we there?
I just love different weddings and it just sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I think when you're planning your own wedding, like for you, when you're thinking about the industry and what everyone else is doing, that pressure is obviously push you to do the difference, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And then how many guests did you have at the Formby your wedding?
Over 100.
So you went from 50 to 100.
Yeah. And we had speeches and everything all over again. I did a speech. David just like put the mic down.
I was going to say that when it comes to the
couldn't help
speeches.
myself. I had to thank all the girls that worked for me at the time. Like they were literally working through the night on my wedding, other people's weddings and everything like that. So it was crazy busy times. Yeah. My mum and dad, we drove to Brighton to go and pick the wedding cake up as well. So yeah.
Had a nice little break there. Put the little sponsor in there, as I always say every week. Putting pressure on myself.
Which has never been created.
Never been a sponsor yet. But we wanted to find out a little bit more about you, Sarah. Obviously, the name and the face behind the business, but the origin story, where it all began, and where you are today.
So 15 years ago, I was in uni doing psychology, and then I had a part-time job in a little craft shop, and the DIY wedding station became a huge big thing then. And I used to teach brides on like a Sunday how to like do little bits and bobs of invite. It was all very basic back then, literally like stickers with wedding invitation on.
As part of the shop, was it?
Yeah,
Like,
as part of the shop, but I loved it. And then I remembered them saying, we're going to have like a wedding coordinator meeting. And I was made up because I had a little wedding coordinator badge. And I was like, I've made it. Like, I think that wedding, what was the wedding planner film? Is it just called The Wedding Planner?
It's
That
called
was
The
new
Wedding
out,
Planner.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was here. I was like, I was only like 16, 17. And then, so I used to teach brides how to do it, got really into it. And when we had this meeting, I'd like made some at home and was like, took them in and showed everyone. Everyone was like, oh, like they're really good. And I was like, yeah. So the Sundays doing appointments with brides became more of a regular thing. But then at the end of the appointments, the brides would go, so can you just make them for us now then? The idea was that they were supposed to buy all the stuff. And I was like, okay, well, if you buy the stuff, then I'll make them. And then that's where it all sort of took off. Yeah.
Did you, at that point, go, when people were coming to you saying, can you just make them, we'll give you the stuff, was you a bit like, this is different, there's a business here now at this point?
No, not at all. I don't even think I realised until 10 years in that it was a business. It was just so weird how it all sort of grew. That one of the biggest things was that table plans had just sort of become really popular as well. I don't know what people were doing before table plans, but back then it was
I can't even
unusual.
envisage a world without.
Yeah, or maybe it was just a piece of A4 printed from the hotel, I don't know. So I made a table plan and put it on the wall in the back of the shop. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put one on eBay and say like 25 quid. And I remember after about 2 weeks, I'd made like 600 quid. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
Which is like $1 million at the
and
time,
like,
innit?
friends would be like, oh, you're like making cards. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's a bit more than that. And I just remembered it. It took off from there. And the eBay days were massive for us. And that was table plans. So not even wedding invites at that point.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so I love hearing people's like way into like their business, and
It's
when
like
you
my favourite part. Like,
and when you said about like your friends or like people who you know going, oh, so you make, and they try, not that it's not their fault that they aren't playing it, but they don't understand
People
how
do still say
big.
it now, though.
Yeah, like people say it to us.
And I go, yeah.
Some people go to me, how's the photos going and all that? Like, you doing all right with
I
it?
even do photos, mate.
And you're like,
Yeah.
just it's not even the same thing, but also, you know, we both do it full time. It's like, it's a really good job, and so, you know, we know from knowing what you do and stuff like that, you're absolutely smashing it. So then,
How did you evolve then? So like obviously you've started to see this opportunity. You've started to think, oh, actually I could make something out of this. What I always find dead interesting is how people is in their heads have changed themselves from being I'm an employee to somebody to I could make this mine. Like I'm really geared it up.
It never felt like it was my decision, to be honest, because it just all happened and it happened so quick. So from like the eBay days, I was still working part-time in the craft shop and I was still doing uni. So I remember graduating from uni, but being like, I need to run back because I've got orders to do, and being like, oh, maybe this is like a thing. And then even from then, it sort of started growing and growing, and even leaving a part-time job. I remember being absolutely terrified, and my mum and dad were there like, are you joking? Like, you can't do it anymore. You physically can't do it, because even at that point, I was working right through the night. So it all sort of happened from there. But so that I don't know that there was ever really a point.
There
And
was
I
like
feel
a point in time where you thought, right, this is it now.
I think it was mainly like my mum and dad who were like, oh, this is a job, isn't it? Like, this is a thing. And I was like, I think so. But even now, I'm still like, is it? I think so.
that is so nice though, because parents are normally the opposite, I think, because the way
especially
they
parents from that generation.
Like,
Yeah.
no, you've just been to uni.
Oh, I mean,
you've
my
got
mum
to
did want me to be a speech and language therapist, so she was pushing for that. But then she was like, okay, the wedding invite thing is quite good.
And I think, as I said, with the parents, they're normally like, yeah, go and get like a 9-to-5 job, or like get a trade, or, you know, whatever it is. And you're and to anyone else on the outside looking in, you're taking a massive risk essentially by not, you know, it's not a risk because you knew it was working, but leaving that degree behind and doing it. And I think like family and friends around you must have been like, oh my God, well done. You know what I mean? Taking that leap. But so I don't want to ask how old you are, but you're saying 15 years ago.
I'm 35.
Okay, but we're going to ask that. I was going to say, how old was you when the business like became a full-time thing?
Is that weird? Yeah, wait, well, it was about 21 when it started.
That is amazing, you know.
So
Like,
that's
yeah.
like, when I think about when I was 21, what I was doing.
I don't believe it myself. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, how did
switched
that
on.
even happen? Yeah.
Because the industry it's a big dive, isn't it, as well? It's a big industry and it's quite
It was
intimidating.
brutal back then.
Yeah.
Like, no one took me seriously at 21. No one. And I used to remember really struggling, like being at the wedding shows and stuff like that, and everyone was so much older. And the wedding industry back then used to be a lot older. So like, you guys are younger and everything like that now, but back then, I'll give you that one.
She was
looking over at us.
I'll take it.
But yeah, you know, you'd see all like the venue people and things like would all be older, wouldn't they? I feel like when I first started in the shows anyway, everyone was a bit older, whereas now it's younger.
Do you think that's got something to do with the way that like the world has changed? Forget about like the industries that we're in, more just like there seems to be a lot more entrepreneurial young people nowadays, because it's so much cooler and trendier to be your own boss now. And I think that somehow invites, and especially with technology and there being processes out there that you can look on YouTube and that gets into those younger eyes faster. So our industry is just geared now.
Definitely.
It's got to be the case.
But
Isn't it? Look at Lucy.
I was going to say Lucy, yeah.
She was
because
on
she's all about female empowerment and all that kind of stuff.
Girl bosses and stuff.
But when
Do you know
I
what
was doing it, it was half embarrassing, you know. Like, I used to like be a bit embarrassed at first that people would be like, oh, like, what are you doing? Like,
this young girl.
You know what I mean? Whereas now, like, being out there on social media and everything, everyone admires it. It's amazing. You know, and even when I went back to my old school and I was listening to them talking to the girls, and the teacher was so empowering, and I thought, I wish we had that when we were in school, because we never had that.
So do you think because you didn't have that back then, you're sort of like promoting it now on your platform, what you've got?
Yeah, definitely. And because I had a little girl as well, so it turned me into a huge feminist in some ways as well. And like, girls are amazing. But I used to think though, in the industry, like, there wasn't really much like female encouragement, like, especially with each other. So it's weird.
This has just made me think then, so when you come to pick Vicky from Willow and Wild, was that a massive part why you chose a female photographer, would you say?
Do you know what? It wasn't at the time. I picked Vicky because she did my friend's wedding.
Okay.
So I met her and I really liked her. But thinking about it now, I'm probably very like
Subconsciously,
I'm
yeah.
probably very female orientated. Even like
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like all the parties and things that I've had, I'm always like, you know, mainly women have done this, and I do always feel sorry for the fellas that have worked
No,
on
but
it.
I think
yeah.
it's good. I just meeting you now, like briefly, I'm already like, before you
She's
come-
a human.
Yeah, no, but before, and I did sort of have you on like a bit of a pedestal. I'm not saying I don't anymore, but I did because of your platform. Do you know what I mean? How you come across.
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I mean?
always funny at wedding shows, especially the ones that we do further away, like Birmingham, Glasgow, and that. There'll be brides who have like followed us for years, and they'll come running over and they're like, "Oh my god, paper doll in real life!" And my husband's there like cringing. But I love it though; it's lovely. Do you know what I mean? And a
Yeah.
lot of people will message me and be like, "I've literally followed you from day one," and I always think that's amazing from like the Facebook days. And now we're getting people who had their wedding invites from us like 10 years ago doing their vow renewals, and I'm like, that's amazing.
Do you try to put a lot about like yourself and your own personal life on your social platform?
I mean, I do and I don't. I think I used to put it on a lot more. Sometimes I'm sort of like, I'm up in the air over it because I think, do people really want to know these things,
I
or do
think
they just
people-
want to stick to invites?
Yeah, no, I think people love to know about
Yeah.
like what's going on in
I think that was
someone's
that
life.
was a big part of why this podcast specifically was the way that we've set it up. That is about the person behind the brands, because personal branding now, people want to know your life. I've definitely noticed, don't know if you do, but the second I post anything about myself, not that I ever do, about me and like my family or whatever, the engagement and the reach is just dramatic. Like,
Yeah.
totally different. People love the story of the people that they're using, don't they now?
Yeah.
So
People like people.
people buy people.
Yeah.
Matty with the shouts there.
I agree, and I always say that about Matty. I think he's
It's a great people's person.
yeah. I've always said that about you.
There you go, Matty.
Matty's here, by the way, everyone. Just getting
In the corner.
himself. No, I agree with that. I think when we I don't think we post enough about ourselves, do we?
We never
Or
post.
what was the post you put up?
Well, I was just thinking that when we announced our pregnancy, the interaction that got was
Yeah.
insane.
I was like, how am I going to post another wedding thing? That's that now. Just keep
So it's
posting
very
kid
true.
photos and then, you know, everyone will
It's
follow.
hard. There was like another job, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
really
I think
hard.
that the thing about posting yourself as well is like, especially if you start getting a bigger platform like yourself, is the prejudgment of what others may think of that kind of puts you off, which is funny because then when you do end up post something, they're like, oh my God, give us more. It's a funny world.
Here's one for you, because when I seen your page, I was like, oh my God, you're smashing it. Like, all your work looks
There's
unbelievable.
that word again.
I know, smashing it, I can't help but say it. But that's what you just see straight away from someone who's in the same industry as yourself. But was there a moment where you went, okay, I am smashing it now? Was there a moment where something happened or a client
Give
came
into
along?
it, like-
Yeah, there's been
Pinch
a
me
few
moments.
moments. Yeah, there's been a few moments like over the years. It tends to have been if we've worked on a wedding that's like been like next level, like they've had everything off us, and then you see it all come together. There's been a few moments like that. We did a wedding in 2018 and it was this huge wedding in Rudden Park, and she had absolutely everything off us. I mean, like, she had favours and place cards and menus, like the whole shebang.
Lot.
I dropped the menu, the order off and everything like that through the night again because it was absolutely huge, the wedding. And I remembered seeing the pictures afterwards and just being like, oh my God, like, this is my job. And there was a moment last year as well, to be honest. It happens with different things. It's all different bits and bobs, but wedding shows actually sometimes give you their moments, especially when like all the brides will come over and recognise us. But last year, this wasn't even a wedding. This group of ladies in Mayfair sort of got in touch with us and wanted us to set up some party boxes because we do all them. And so paid me to go to London and set them up in this like amazing venue. And then we got like a tour around the venue and everything. And I was like, how is this my job? Like,
It's funny,
yeah, it was absolutely insane. So yeah, there's different moments like that, but
Any high profile?
I was going to come on to
I
that.
know, yeah.
We're being anything, you know. I think after doing Little Beth's episodes, and she sort of like come out of nowhere, naming celebrities,
Kardashians.
and I think we're not like looking for it now, but we know people have got like
We're
them
intrigued.
stories, basically.
Beth's are amazing. So I really didn't want to have to go like after.
I know,
Beth with
sorry,
them.
I know, but it is the case though. Like,
It
I
was
think everyone's
amazing
got their own
hearing
story,
Beth's.
haven't
Yeah,
they?
and I loved Beth's story as well. Yeah, we do, especially like the Christmas stuff as well. We do a lot of like the footballers. So we did Jack Grealish's Christmas Day menus, which was nice.
Christmas Day menus, by the way.
By the way,
He shared
Chris,
on
he's living a
Christmas
different
Day,
life here
yeah.
now.
He shared the menu on Christmas Day, but there was an NDA, so I didn't know if I was allowed to post it or not. But
But
yeah,
he posted it.
He posted it,
How
yeah.
mad's that?
Yeah.
Is that his agent or like a management getting in touch with you with
I
this?
think, yeah, management. So ours will be usually linked through the venue decorator. So Kelly Louise, she's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Shout out to Kelly
She
Louise.
is
She's on our
unbelievable.
whiteboards for like trying to get on. We'd
Yeah,
love
she-
Yeah,
Kelly Louise, if you're listening, we would love
Yeah,
to have you
she
on.
is
We haven't made the
unbelievable.
approach
Every
yet.
event she does, I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
she did my baby shower, and it was like it was almost as good as the wedding. Or maybe not even the
well
wedding.
believe that.
Yeah, we had a teepee in the back garden and everything. It was the COVID time, so yeah, it was But Kelly is unbelievable.
She's got the connections.
Yeah, so Kelly gives me most of the connections through here with all the footballers and things. And to be honest, sometimes I don't know who they are. So like, I mean, probably last year with Grealish, I was like go to my husband. I was like, Jack Grealish, and he was like, "Are you messing?" Yeah, we've done things like Rashford and people like that as well. But in terms of weddings, do you know Russell Watson, the opera singer?
Yes.
He
Yes.
was in the
He was
Jungle
on I'm a
as well.
Celebrity, weren't he? Yeah.
Yeah, so I met them at, remember the Tatton Park wedding show, if you ever did that?
I've never done it before, but
It's done now, it's
Yeah.
finished, but that was an amazing wedding show years ago. So I met them there and we did their wedding. And then Tony Bellews. Yeah.
Closer to home.
Matthew's done a bit of
Matthew's
Tony
mate.
Yeah.
Bellew work before. I love it. When are we going to get a celebrity wedding?
I know.
Oh, Billy Fair's wedding invites as well. Yeah.
Oh, Beth, you okay?
Leave that there for a few minutes.
Beth is a big fan of Billy Fairs
I always forget
and
that
Sam.
one, yeah. But that was a mad
That we
one.
took my list.
Yeah.
What?
When we met the photographer from Billy Fair's wedding, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, that was it then.
Yeah,
Stacey.
we got asked to do samples for it, and it was very last minute, and I was going away the next day, but I was still working through the night on orders. So to do the samples meant I was having to get on a plane the next day with absolute zero sleep. So I would remember thinking, I can't do it, I can't physically do it, I can't do it, because it got to like 4 a.m, and I was stood in the shop with my mum, and she was like, just do it, you'll be fine, just do it. Worked right through the night, got the samples off, never thought anything of it. And then the next thing is I was watching Dancing on Ice like a couple of months later, and the advert came on, and it was Billy Fairs opening the invite, and I literally died. I was just
Sad
like,
man.
So you like-
pause it. Well, I play it cool on social media usually. I'm like, oh yeah, we did that.
I was literally about to say, if that was me, I'd be like getting a photo next to the telly like
Yeah.
this, like, look at me,
You know what was
my
even
work.
better? So we went away, and this was the year after all. Like, sure. So our wedding was in the March. We went away in the September, and we went away, and she was at the hotel. She was just sat there at the table, and David was going, "Say, go on, tell her you did.
Tell
Go
her
tell
that
her."
was you,
And I was like, I can't. And I was there just like shaking, like I can't tell her. But I don't-
Did you tell her?
No.
Oh, Billy, we're reaching out to you. We're going to show you this clip. You best get in touch.
I know.
Now, what was I going to say then? So was it that her wedding invite you did?
No, I think that they just used samples for the program. Like, I think that's what it was. So I think that's like.
But was it for the wedding
behind
though?
the scenes. Yes, but we were only provided with certain details, and then the wedding just happened. We were already in an NDA, so there was nothing I could say anything. So I couldn't post anything until anything had been shared.
Right.
Yeah, but
I feel
they
like
tell
we
you so
talk
little
about
details.
NDAs all the time,
I
lately, don't
know,
we?
yeah.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
need one of those.
We've never had one.
No, I think you know you've made it.
Yeah,
When you get our first NDA, we'll be like, can't talk about it.
Tight-lipped on that one. How do you feel about it though? Because as a business, it's very personal to you. So everything that you create is like personal, and obviously you want to promote it. And when you get like such a high-profile person, are you half like, come on, guys?
Yeah, I mean, with the footballers, definitely, because we've done loads of their stuff. You know, even like Rooney, I can't even remember loads of them off the top of my head, but lots of them Man United.
Or actually, it's Kelly Louise because she's like in
through
United.
Kelly, yeah.
She's Manchester based.
So, and all them, we can't really share. Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe afterwards, but I have to like check with Kelly and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I know this might be one thing that gets cut out, but I'm not even discuss it actually because it was to do with pricing and stuff like that. But we spoke to a supplier the other day about pricing for celebrities, and we'll just not talk about that.
Always the
Because
same price. Always exactly what I post on all.
Yeah.
A normal price. Yeah.
yeah, no,
Those normals.
I couldn't not, especially with Rachel Bellew. She came into the shop, and we'd known her for years anyway. In fact, no, it was quite funny because I didn't know she was Rachel Bellew at first until she was on the telly at the end of the fight. And I went, she came in for an appointment, but she just said her name was Rachel, and like she was there with Tony, so that was cool. But she said she'd just been into a very well-known florist, venue decorator, and when he realised who she was, the price went up by about 3 times. A very well-known person who I nearly booked for my wedding as well.
that is so sad. I think
know, it
because
is.
I think we always laugh about it, and you go, "Oh, why didn't you charge more?" And it is a bit like tongue in cheek, but I always think sometimes you hear horror stories where people get told you can't charge anything because it's who they are, and then they're going to be able to promote. Yeah, we've had that a few times. I've heard stories in our industry.
Influencers and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matty's had that experience before where they've said to you, well, we're not going to pay you, but you're going to get like the promotion off the back of it. Question is, did you do it? Well done.
I think people have stopped doing it now. I think things have changed. The freebie thing went massive.
Yeah.
And then I think it's changed now, and people are
People are
literally
onto it
like,
now,
hang
aren't
on
they?
a minute. Yeah, but I had an interesting influencer one. This was before the influencing thing even became like a big deal. And she was getting married. So she wasn't famous, he was. And she come to us for the save the dates, and she said, I've only got like a small budget, can you do them just really, really plain? So we did them. I got a phone call after she received them, and she said, but you know who I'm marrying, and you know I'm going to share these, so I don't know why you didn't do them fancier. And I remembered being like, sorry, what? So, and she was like, but you know, your name's going on these, so would you be proud of that? And then she came back for the invites, and I was like, you're all right.
Oh my God.
As
Yeah.
if. Isn't it interesting, like the psychology of like how people's brains work?
Speaking of psychology, she's got a degree in it.
I know, yeah.
She knows.
See you coming, girl.
See you coming a mile off. That's so interesting, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we never really have that. I
I think,
think
like, of course, I'm proud of it. Like, give you
Yeah.
the work. Like, of course,
Yeah,
I'm
and there was
proud of
there
it.
was absolutely, you know, if you've got that type of budget, they were absolutely lovely anyway. But she wanted more because she thought she was
She's just
someone.
entitled.
Yeah,
And you were probably like, who are you?
yeah.
I'm curious in your like line of work and like your competitors and stuff, in terms of budget wise, what are we talking
So it really does depend, you know.
on your
Yeah,
wedding day?
because it's all custom, so you can scale it up or down as much as you want. So like if you want like invites for like £2.50, £3.50, you can get them. But if you want invites for £25, you can also get them.
one invite 25 quid?
Yeah,
Is that like the top end, would you say?
we've done more. So the wedding that I was saying in that was in 2018, that it was a pinch me one. She had £50 wedding invites.
Wow.
They had hundreds of roses all over them. It was a lot of man hours.
How many people does it take to do one of those?
I had 7 members of staff at that point, so it was yeah.
Wow.
Full
Was your hands it?
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. Oh, and still now.
So
all
it's just
the
come to
time,
Brian.
Yeah.
How many paper cuts did you get?
Oh, so many paper cuts all the time. And obviously I worked in a craft shop before doing this job.
Shit question,
So
Matthew.
always like opening the cards and everything like that. Yeah, loads of paper cuts. But recently loads of sore fingers from tearing invites because that's popular now.
Turn invites?
Yeah, tearing invites, but it's really hard. Yeah.
I've
If you've
never
got
seen-
really thick cards, yeah.
I feel like I'm like, you know what I mean? Just,
I'm just totally oblivious to it all.
did you do invites?
Yeah, but we did it like, I wouldn't even say the cheap way because it wasn't. But we just did ours
Moonpig.com?
online.
Yeah,
Like, we
I
didn't
was gonna say,
choose a
people do it
specific
online,
vendor or anything like
How,
that.
how do you feel when it comes to like the likes of Moonpig? I know they're just like coming off a printer straight off the bat. There's no like personalisation to them.
I feel as if like people still love, like we do one-off birthday cards now and again if we can fit them in, which became more of a thing over COVID actually. But like people still love ours more so than a Moonpig, I would say. And like
1,000,000%.
even our one-off cards can be like £25, but people go, no, well they're going to keep that forever and it's handmade and stuff. So
I like a card.
But-
I think the only reason why we did it is one part time. I just left it all to Becky to do, which I probably shouldn't. Not that it was bad, by the way, Becky. But it was just I was just oblivious to this whole other world.
I think I was until when my brother got married. And I was trying to figure out whether they went with you or not. I couldn't recall because I seen your work and it wasn't similar to theirs, but you could see their first invites, Jay's and Kirsty's. There's a lot of detail that went into
they
it.
were done
And I
specific.
remember they spent a lot of money on these invites. It had menus in it and all that. It was like
when did they get married?
West Tower.
When?
It got postponed. So the original invites was the ones he spent an absolute fortune on.
So it was 2020.
2020 August. Bank holiday.
Kirsty. I'd need a maiden name.
Mackenzie.
Kirsty Mackenzie, don't remember. I don't know. And everything's a blur after the baby. It used to be really good, you know, brides.
Oh, you
like
know
did me wedding
everyone.
8 years ago, and I'm like, purple, West Tower.
Yeah, so these spent. I remember these spent an absolute fortune on them, blessed them. And I don't know whether this happened to you or not, but they had them done, invites sent out. I remember it. I still got them in ours. It felt awful, like binning them really, because I knew they spent an absolute fortune. And I'm a weirdo, keep everything. But then when they postponed again, they just didn't do it again.
Yeah.
And did you ever have that where people going, I've paid with that time, and discount going that time?
Well, for us, it sort of ends up the other way. And I had loads of brides who were like, I need a full new set, and we're doing a whole new theme. And
you
I
got
was like,
sorted.
wow. Like, COVID was a really like interesting time for me because we diversified the business in doing things other than just weddings. But like, yeah, you'd had that whole thing of some people just scrapped all the stationery kind of thing, but most for us wanted the full new shebang. Did not want COVID to take anything away from the day, so had all new amazing invites.
Yeah.
That just made me think when you said COVID brought a new line of like avenues we went down, not just weddings. What were them avenues, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, the minute it happened, one of our brides who'd been postponed, she was like, we're going to need something to look forward to, so I booked in Vegas as a surprise. Can you do me a box to reveal it? And I was like, well, we were still actually really busy on weddings for the next year because our next year's bride sort of homed in on us being a little bit quieter. So we were still busy, but I was like, yeah, I'll fit you in a Vegas reveal. And they took off. They
Really?
absolutely took off, yeah. So now they've just become a permanent thing that we do. Trip reveals, so New York, anywhere.
And what do they look like?
A big box covered in bits and bobs that are like the theme. Do you know what kind of looks like a cake? If you were to get like a cake that was themed,
Yeah.
it looks like it's a box with all the bits on. There comes a little passport and a little plane. But yeah, they were huge. Yeah.
When I was sorry, go on.
Well, no, go on.
When I was scrolling through your page, I couldn't believe how many like creative things, like one you came up with, and then two that like you can actually get, like they're amazing. Obviously the whole Christmas collection, which we will go on to soon, but how'd you even come up with the ideas?
I've always, like, people always ask me this, but I've always thought it's the brides or the customers who give me the ideas and then I sort of go with it. But I do get very, like, I'll get really stuck into themes. Like, I love a theme. So if people do come to me and they're like, I don't know, with weddings, they've got a big theme or whatever, I get really involved. For example, my cousin has just had a Marvel themed table plan Saturday for his wedding, and I hadn't seen a single Marvel film. So from the Monday, I was like, what?
I think I've seen this.
Yeah, I only posted a little snippet of it. I'll post the rest later, but yeah.
But no, like the person who's reveal it was, like the actual end product, if you like.
Oh, right.
I think I follow whoever that person is.
Was
I'm
it?
sure I
What
don't,
wedding venue?
I don't know. It was just
know
on
the
my phone. I was
photographers.
just scrolling on my phone.
Yeah.
Who are the photographers, you know?
I don't know.
Oh.
2 girls. No, I didn't know them. But
Jess Lang?
don't know. It wasn't for
It's only
me.
girl we know.
Was it Titanic?
No, this Forest Hills and Frodsham one.
Right, sorry.
Yeah, so I watched
Yeah,
every
that
single
went a bit
Marvel
like...
film.
Yeah.
I watched every single
Yes,
film.
I
that was on
tried
the
to figure
table.
out whose wedding it was.
Yeah.
It was your cousin's.
Yeah, but so I watched all the Marvel films that were on the table plan in the run-up. Yeah.
Did you watch it in the order that's...
Well, so, right, the whole Marvel thing is like a
Opens up a
different
whole
world.
new
isn't
way.
it?
Iron Man
Just to figure
first.
it out.
I am.
So we did do Iron Man first, and then I think we did mix them up because, right, so my husband, David, I said to him, listen, I need to get research for this Marvel table plan, so you need to hurry up, get home from work. I'm doing on a set of invites. We need to watch Iron Man, and we need to watch Thor, and we need to watch Hulk tonight.
I bet-
And he was like, okay. He never got home
I was
quicker.
just about to say, if that was me, I'd be like, I've made it here.
He was like,
that
"That's
was like the
fine."
time. I'd be
That's
like,
why I
stepping
married
up.
you. That's why I married
I
you.
knew this day had come.
Mine would be Harry Potter with me and Beth. She was like, listen, let's get on, watch Philosopher's Stone, Chamber Secrets, Prison of Azkaban. I'd be like, oh!
Boo.
I had hints of Harry Potter in our home wedding as well. I had one of the tables
Oh.
of potions and owls.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hope you feel good about yourself, mate.
I do.
So tell me more about the Harry Potter theme in your wedding.
As well, and I always tell people because they got like non-Harry Potter fans don't get this, but I was in the queue with my Harry Potter scarf on in Asda buying the last book
So
proudly.
was I. I was obviously I can't remember when the last book come out, but I was old enough to dress up as Harry Potter for that. My brother took me, I remember it, but I was the only kid in the Asda dressed up as Harry Potter. Everyone else was like scarves and
Yeah.
stuff because they were a lot older. Because obviously I looked too young to be able to read the book. But yeah, I dressed up as Harry Potter and went to Asda.
Yeah.
So that's how true fans we are.
Yeah.
We actually queued up at
Well
midnight
done,
for
yous
it.
two.
Midnight, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it.
Of course.
Yeah. What Asda was it?
Aintree.
I'm a Smithdown, I think.
Obviously, we were talking there about the things that you do because it's not just weddings. Like, obviously, our world is very wedding based, but you do other things. But you kindly brought us in a lot of examples which we have now got in our hands. And even just picking them up before we've dissected them, we're already blown away by these things. So, what have we got here? Like, I know what I've got, but I mean, like, talk us through what
Do you know
each
what
of us have
always
got.
happens? People do actually say that at wedding shows. They pick it up and they're like, I love this. What is it?
What is it? No, I clearly know what it is, but I mean, like, talk it through. If we were like someone perspective to buy these things, what are these?
So you two have got wedding invite. So 2 really popular designs. The feathers have been
Can you see them on
massive
the camera?
this year. And
Oh yeah, I'm going to this one. Jokes.
that is a real wedding.
I know, I
Someone
can
might
tell.
have done it. Yeah.
Hope Street Hotel.
Yeah.
Imagine if I did do it. No, the name's very...
I was thinking you'd recognise them
I
names.
definitely recognise the names.
They're so heavy, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated by the print, how the
Yeah.
print works on them. Can you
I
explain?
go through an awful lot of printers.
Do you?
Loads.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 a month.
Is
Yeah.
that all hand layered?
Because, yeah. I found for me, like, the cheaper printers work better than the dearer ones. So I do go through a lot of printers, yeah.
Give me a look, Beth.
Wow.
Your hand is heavy.
It is,
And
isn't
also-
it?
Heavier than I
Sometimes
expected
they're even
that to be.
heavier, yeah.
What? So you must have to hand deliver these.
Oh, you know what? They all get posted because we post all over the UK. So, in
Wow.
terms of the actual invites, no, they're fine in envelopes or
I was
boxes.
just saying because the weight of them.
Yeah, it's always a large letter. Even a flat piece of card with a diamante on is a large letter stamp. Because I always tell brides this because
Do you
the
spend?
guests get
Where do you
charged.
spend most of your money? Then the postage or in the
Oh well, yeah. When the brides get older,
just
them
posting
yeah.
things? I remember when my mate got married, they got wedding invites made, and he said the postal sendage of the invites were like almost as much as the invites
Yeah,
themselves. Like,
I mean, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but yeah.
so where in your line does this? Oh yeah, I've only just got onto the
branding.
the branding on the
Yeah.
back there.
branding
That
on the back of this
takes
one.
it to a new level for me there. Obviously, like we said, we see them on wedding days and we love them and we love to photograph them or video them, and it becomes part of like, oh yeah, get on this, like we can put this like this, the flat lay thing especially. I'm almost made up. I didn't have awareness of these now for my
I
wedding
feel
day
like-
because I would have went nuts. I love detail and like intrigue and
Well, some of our
Fascinating.
designs even
Love
have
that.
like sketches and things that are really personal to the couple as well. Like, it's not.
that's what I mean.
things
Like
have become
you
a
can
little
really
bit
go on your
simpler
own.
this year, but before that, people always wanted like their dog in there, and they wanted like somewhere they
Even
got
that single
engaged, and
piece.
so all them type of themes. I love all that. It was really popular a few years ago to get where you'd got engaged on the front of your invite. So we did like loads of Venice invites, Paris invites, London invites. So that was always lovely as well.
I
think
feel
that-
like just speaking to you, like you'd appreciate like the crafts of it
Million
so
percent.
much more.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I
we do
think.
see them and I just go, yeah, it's invites, and
Yeah.
I just assume that
Do you know
it's
what,
the
though?
printer. I
As
don't
well,
realise that they're actually
I'm just
handcrafted.
putting this out there. You know the way you were talking before about your moon pigs and all that type of stuff, and like card shops and whatever like that. You know, if you went into like an actual card shop, I'm just saying hypothetically, and pick something like this up, this is like the dear stuff, isn't it? But this is better in my opinion than
I just feel like
what
you'd
you'll
appreciate
find.
like more now that I'm speaking to you more than ever, as you've just said. Like, I don't know, you pick them up at weddings and you sadly you just go, yeah, that's just there. And
Yeah, you don't realise
you
that
don't
the
stand
person-
there and
Yeah.
think, wow,
there's a
someone
person. This
spent-
is
Yeah.
what? How many people have you got in your team? Or you
Only
had?
me and my mum now. Yeah, yeah. But it's easier that way.
That's even more like
know, but still.
I
intriguing
know,
now to
it's
me.
even more
Yeah.
personal, isn't it? Oh,
Like
I
the
think-
level. I couldn't make that in a year at that level. If I tried and tried my best, I just haven't got that in me locker.
Nice. Is that your wedding?
So this
invite?
is my save the date. Yeah, it's
And when
very
you-
old and battered now.
I know. Well, yeah.
So this is the one that you made for your own wedding day.
So there's Swarovski
You
crystals
made?
all over that. Yeah.
How many of them?
So how many? It must have been about 30. They were actually musical at one point. But I think Frank Sinatra inside might be a bit knackered now because he's 7 years old. But
And what was the song?
Don't break it, Beth.
Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly me to the moon.
it might sing. I don't know unless that wasn't a singing one.
Did he sing as well?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, musical invite to
Oh
Rick.
yeah. You can...
Oh, the battery has
Sounds
gone.
like Josh
That's so
singing it.
sad.
How cool is that? Though?
That is on a different level
I know.
altogether. That I wasn't prepared for that. I
Wow.
And then them suitcases are really popular after that as well. But to replicate them is hard because yeah, they're all like painted and all of crystals and everything like that. Yeah.
I love this. I think every single person that we get on guest wise, to some degree, should showcase what they do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Abby didn't even sing on his. Abby,
I know, Abby.
coming for you. We had to sing on Abby's behalf, but going as well and said this.
Yes.
I can't get my head around this.
So I've seen that you do Christmas cracker workshop.
Yeah. So we started that last year.
Is this from a workshop? Is this the type of thing that people can expect, or
Yes,
like to make for themselves? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can sort of simplify them or do them as fancy as you want. But yeah, I provided kits and I was throwing all kinds of mad things in the kits so people could have some really fancy ones. But yeah, we've been asked for years to teach how to make the crackers and I've always sort of stayed away from it. And then last year I thought I was doing this whole thing of jumping out my comfort zone with anything. So I thought, let's do it. And they went amazing.
I love what you've done here.
I
'cause
absolutely
I've just
love
been not only this, the craftsmanship of this, the weight of this. By the way, this is more than your average cracker.
Yeah.
This is like top end crackers. This, but did he? And this is going to sound a stupid question. Did he pull like crackers?
They
too?
do, and they have a banger in them as well.
Oh, you're
but I
taking-
mean, to pull
you're taking
them
the piss out of us now.
is really sad, isn't it?
I was going to say, so these are more decorative than actual in use.
We do them as wedding favours, and they were the favours at my baby's christening.
Are there stuff inside?
There is, yeah.
Snowflakes?
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. How much do these normally charge, or does this vary?
So these completely vary. Like wedding favours, much simpler ones are from
Yeah.
probably around about £6 each kind of price
Okay.
range. These ones you're probably looking at like £25 each.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I love what you've done here? Because
Yeah,
I've just been reading this, Believe in the Magic of Christmas, which I was like, oh yeah, lovely, and it really says Christmas to me. But then it also says down the bottom, Merry Christmas, Elsa's christening day. So if you like married this up like Christmas and the
We
christening
had a
day.
Christmas christening, yeah.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
And that, yeah.
Christmas christening.
Yeah, we had a Christmas christening on Christmas Day.
So basically everything that I couldn't have at my weddings, I had at a christening. So I had the gospel choir and everything. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, Kelly
All right,
Louise
so is this-
decorated it.
Is this your
Yeah,
little girl?
yeah.
I'm thinking, we've got a christening coming up soon, Beth. I think we
Well,
need to get in
as soon
touch.
as I
Say
seen all
it.
this, I was like,
Yous have got a client.
What party can I do?
How last minute can we do this? No, honestly,
Even this Christmas cracker course, if you do that
Yeah.
this year,
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Beth-
I wanted
That'll
to
be
do a
on
big
that.
one in town.
That'll
that's
line
the
right
plan.
up with your little entry, Mona,
I must
in
admit,
September.
I must admit, I am awful at like hand coordination with things. I think it must be like I must go to therapy about it. Really, it must have happened to me when I was a kid. I was never allowed to like
The flashbacks.
yeah. I'm like triggered. I just feel like, and you're the same when I get decorated tree. I always ask Beth like, "Am I doing it right?" Sad that, isn't it?
We walk everyone through though on the classes.
Will the workshop like bring out that confidence in?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you have
I'd
to
love
to be
cocktails
more
as well when you do
creative.
it.
Do you mean, so I want to talk about this as well. So obviously we're all parents in this room, apart from Matty, even though he's got a dog.
He is.
He's got a dog, yes, I know.
He's up every night with the dog.
He's probably got
Dogs
more
are
than me
awesome
nowadays, to be
kids.
fair.
They are.
I was going to say, with kids and stuff, I always feel dead like lacking. You know, when like, Thea brings a project home where they've got to create something, do you apply your like creative world to your kids' homework?
She's the opposite.
By the way, talking about kids, is it just the one?
Yes, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, just the one.
Because I was going to say before when we were talking about it, like how you now model your world around being a mum as well as obviously being a unbelievable like creative in your craft. How does it all tie in, being a parent and this?
Oh, I mean, in terms of the things that I can't wait for her to start doing school projects and stuff when she goes to school because
How old is she, if you don't
she's
mind?
2.5, so
2.5,
she's but she
alright.
starts school next
So
year.
you've got time then.
Yeah, but she'll be the baby of the year. Yeah. But so I can't wait for like projects and stuff. Cause
My
I'm
little girl's
really-
2.5 actually.
Oh,
Just thought about
it's a
that.
lovely
Then.
age,
Don't even know
isn't
why I
it?
didn't
Although
say that first. Yeah.
So I'll definitely be like doing all that kind of stuff, and she's always very themed, and you know when there's like World Book Day, I do go. all
Does
and-
she get like
well,
the
there's a book
works?
called The Paper Doll as well, or Paper Dolls. So I did go all out with that. Little things like that, and then like I do think I'm probably hated in the nursery by the other mums because
I was just going to say, you know, when she went, did she go in as the paper dolls?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. She did have a choice.
Yeah.
You're a paper doll.
No, that's why even a baby.
Been waiting my whole life for this.
Like we're not having Peppa Pig, not yet.
Did
I haven't had one.
any Hermione goes? Any?
There was a few Hermiones actually, but yeah, because they're all like 2, so
Yeah.
can't really keep the wig on.
Fair dude. Just
So
sad,
what's
you know.
it like though? Like obviously you say that you're working late into the night most of the time. How does that affect like yourself? Because I always like to try and like step away from us as like working people and like that we're people who have kids and lives and whatever like that. Does it make it harder?
It's brutal. Sometimes it's really brutal. I mean,
Because kids
after-
obviously go through like phases, don't they, all
Yeah.
the time, and they're
So
still going through phases now.
I had the baby, so I was pregnant in COVID. So I had like a really nice pregnancy as well. I wasn't sick or anything like that, and the work wasn't too crazy because you know all the weddings are kind of. We were still really busy, but it was slower, so it was a nice pace. And then Boris announced that weddings were going ahead just as I was about to give birth. And so
Cheers, Boris. Nice one for that,
I
lads.
was
Thanks, mate. Done us all favours.
Well, so while all the brides were all made up, I was like, oh, how is this going to work? And we had 21 weddings taking place the weekend that I was due. So it was really tough. So I was in labour doing proofs for wedding invites as well.
Is that?
Yeah, I was being induced and I was there on my laptop. Yeah.
So
How crazy is that?
how many
Yeah.
weddings do you normally do then? Like,
In a
because
year?
that's like 21 in a weekend.
Usually somewhere around about the 500 weddings
Stop.
a year. Yeah.
Do you want me to just give you our cards and we don't have to like look for work anymore?
Oh my
So it's all
god.
over the UK as well.
And that's
Because we can
only
do more than one wedding
weddings
a
as well.
day.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you do other things as well.
Yeah.
That is
But
insane.
it was brutal. After I had the baby, I don't know what planet I was on because I had to
I
work.
can't believe that falls now on just
Yeah.
you and your mum.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit wild now.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
500. We thought we were like
Busy.
killing it with our
Yeah.
like 40s to 70s to 80s. What was your 80 last year?
No, just under.
Just under
That's
80.
a lot, though, isn't it?
Which is a lot, but I
Weekends
mean-
there are, and, you know, and when
Yeah.
you mostly fall on a weekend.
That's
It's
crazy.
not
That
on
500 weddings.
Yeah, and I think when restrictions lifted, it was probably closer to 700.
Do you do any like? So I've got a friend who I have in one of the recommended places that I'm in, and she does stationery as well, and she refine that. So she got approached by a company. So obviously a lot of things you do are very personal because the people come to you. Do you do like corporate based things as well? Do you have corporate clients is what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, usually at Christmas, actually. So the likes of like Doll Beauty, they have their like...
Shout out to Beauty. You'll be getting a
shout out
tag.
to Doll Beauty. Yeah, she's fab as well. Get Danielle on. And they had like the either for staff dues or for like influencer dinners as well. So we've done like the influencer dinners for like Miss Pap and other companies like
They're
that.
massive
yeah.
then, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
See?
And that's always amazing.
We're
because
opening
I do
up
see
all
those
sorts of
gorgeous
wings,
girls
yeah.
pulling our crackers, so don't mind.
I'd get my phone out and content create all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm blown away. Really, I'm blown away.
And I feel
I
a bit
love this.
speechless.
I know,
This is
I
like
love
the only podcast. I've no offense to all the guests, but I feel a bit speechless today. I really do.
No, I never thought I'd see the day, did you? Beth's like, make sure this is all recorded.
It's question time.
Well done, Beth.
Can I just ask you, do you feel embarrassed when you do that, or do you feel all right with it?
We're both.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. I think she's going for it, and then in her head she's thinking, do I look silly doing this?
Yes.
Can't believe these make me do it every week. Go on, question
Good
time.
girl. Got a few questions in for you. Okay. You can answer them at any pace you want, how much detail you want. I always say that, and I just think, why am I even saying it? Anyway, how many paper cuts do you get? Is one of them.
Yeah, a lot.
We've mentioned that.
Yeah.
How soon, I think this is something I always ask, and I haven't even asked you this, how soon before our wedding should we book you?
It really depends. I mean, save the dates tend to go out like 12 to 18 months before. Invites tend to go out about 6-ish months before, although that depends if you're getting married in this country or abroad. So I would be looking to book us 2 years before.
Do you ever say, we've got no availability for that period of time?
No.
Good question, actually, yeah.
No.
I was going to...
Do
Because
you just always say it?
just get us booked in a couple
I
of
always
days.
say, like, my mum's like bad cop and I'm good cop. Like, my mum has got the diary and all the availability and she works for me. So she'll give you the realistic, like, this is the turnaround, this is whatever. And she's a lot more like, this is, whereas I'm terrible. And I'll say yes to everything, wait through the night for everything and do everything.
You sound like these two over here, which is very much like a people pleaser. And I'm a bit more like, I'm like your mum, I think.
If I was you guys who could only do really one wedding on a day, I don't know what I'd do. Like, I'd have to be like, I've got to fit in two. How can I do this? You know what I mean? I'd get
Maybe
FOMO
we'll
for
start
the
doing
other
2
wedding.
weddings a day. If you're getting married at 1:30 in the morning.
How long does it take you to prep for the Grand National? You always look amazing. I was thinking, what is that question?
Do you know what?
Are these like proper personal questions when I've come off your socials?
No, that's a funny one though, because do you know what? There's pressure on the national now as well, because everyone sort of knows that I'll always have a hat and a dress and everything.
Do you go every
Are you
year?
like an influencer
we
at the
go
Grand
to-
National?
No,
I think, yeah, you've been talking about influencers. You're one of them.
I know, I think you are.
maybe for the hat shop, to be fair. Felicity Hat Hire, shout out.
Shout out Felicity's.
Yeah. So probably,
I don't know, that's
yeah, I do probably start, like the September before.
You're messing.
Yeah, I do start looking for a dress too, because we go the 2 days.
Are
Yeah.
you hungover?
It's really hard. It's really,
So you just carry on. You just continue drinking. Don't
I
stop.
paced myself on the Friday, but this year I was so uncomfortable because I had 2 pairs of Spanx on. One pair started rolling down. Sorry to you to go and get this, but
Okay.
Whoa.
So
I understand what Spanks are. I've been to a wedding day.
I know, but
yeah, of course, yeah.
it's quite funny that you've mentioned Spanx. So someone sent in, what Spanx would you recommend? Big
Yeah.
cry and laughing faces.
Because that's what I put on my thing. Because most people, that is probably my commonly asked
Skims.
question. What Spanx?
Why?
I haven't tried Skims yet. I'm
Oh,
going
you
for
need
it,
to have a
but
go.
higher power Spanx are the ones.
Oh, do you know
Yeah.
Skims? Hang on. Oh, do you know Skims?
I seen an advertisement for it the other week because we, off the back of Little Beth's podcast, we started following Kim Kardashian. Well, I did off the aisle chat.
Bet you did.
And then she's posted a few times about Skims, which is just stuck in my head now.
And they sell Spanx,
Skims
didn't
look
they?
amazing. Yeah, she does her own Spanx. And in fact, Kim's are amazing because Kim Kardashian.
I was waiting for you to go. I did a baby shower as well.
Oh no, imagine. Although years ago, when she got married to that Chris, was it?
I was going to go, which wedding are you talking
one was
about?
it? The what? Yeah,
The one that lasted like 3 minutes.
yeah. I was so made up with that wedding invite, so I did a little replica one and did a whole blog post about it and everything. Loved that, and then the wedding was over by the time I posted the blog. The marriage.
Savage.
That's showbiz.
So what was the Spanx? Sorry.
Oh, higher power. They go
Higher.
right up underneath your bra and you've got shorts. But Kim Kardashian's Skims ones are amazing because she does like ones with slits in the legs and stuff. So if you've got a split skirt, like my wedding dress was a split skirt. So I didn't think to cut my Spanx, I didn't want to because they're like, what, 30, 40 quid a pair. So I had one leg hiked right up. So it was uncomfortable. Anyway, yeah, these are the things you got to...
Lessons learned by the lads here.
Yeah.
Any Spanx for men? Is this a thing? What are they?
There are.
Yeah.
She does Skims for
Do
men.
they suck
Yeah.
That's
them in?
thanks for men. You basically
Yeah.
just suck all your body in.
Who's that?
Nothing like
Is it
smooth
Neymar?
and
Is he a football? Yeah. He's modelling the Skims.
Who is?
Neymar.
Yeah,
Neymar.
Neymar.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I've made
So,
that
or
up.
just the next podcast, we'll all have them on. We'll have
I think I
we'll all
actually
look like these. Shout, we were like that.
I think I need something like that in my life. What is your favourite season to do stationery for?
Ooh, that is a hard one because I love all the seasons because everything can be themed. And autumn is an amazing one because you've got all like the leaves and copper and those kinds of tones. Probably Christmas is probably my
I think it's
favourite
gotta
with
be
all the
Christmas. I'm glad you said
snowflakes. And
Christmas.
yeah, we've actually got a set of invites that have got polar bears on the front and a snowflake, and it's for August, which is interesting.
Great.
We've actually had a story on that one of our podcasts previously about a person who got married in like July who had a Christmas themed wedding. Yeah, snow machines and all that.
Reminds me of like Don't Tell the Bride. Remember them when they come out with like a mad theme? Yeah.
Yeah, don't get any ideas, Beth, if you ever get married. What is this year's colour scheme for weddings?
Neutral. Everything neutral at the moment. All black and white monochrome. But yeah, never been so neutral. Like I can always tell by like the piles of cards, even if I'm not like aware of it myself when I'm making the orders, like the ice white pile is stacked high. Yeah, on monochrome.
Do you think you can't like set trends for the years, or you like how do these trends come about? Do you
How
know
you
what I
mix them
mean?
up?
I think it's celebrity weddings, you know. I think like a lot of people will go off, like Sophia Richie's wedding was huge last year and that was all very neutral and very white flowers.
Who
and
did she
things like
marry?
that.
Someone famous?
Yeah, well his dad's like a famous music producer, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, Elliot. Yeah.
And her dad's famous.
Lionel Richie. Yeah.
How could we not? And that's where they come from, basically, celebrity weddings.
I mean, I think so. Or I don't really know because I used to think it was the wedding shows, you know, like there'd usually be like a main florist or venue decorator that does like a huge big display. You know, when there was like the Bliss shows.
Yeah. We did the
and
Bliss show once.
We did the Bliss shows for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've stopped.
I
now, haven't
actually think when we done them, we were by
You
your
probably would
stand.
be.
No, we were by. I'm pretty sure we were. Just
There you
by
go.
the-
Full
I
circle.
think we were like next.
we
to
did
you.
them for like 10 years, yeah.
Probably terrified to come over. We were like babies and stuff, weren't we?
Yeah.
You'd only
Do
be
you
going
remember
with.
when it was in Knowsley Safari Park?
No.
It was amazing then. Yeah, it was, you know, like when the atmosphere on... I'm not trying to dig out wedding shows, but the big ones, the atmosphere hasn't been the same at them for a few years, I don't think. But when it used to be in Knowsley Safari Park,
The
the
atmosphere was just
atmosphere,
unbelievable.
yeah.
I just don't want to go. I don't want to go back to it. But the celebrity side of things, when you said about that, we didn't even discuss about like, the Pretty Little Thing wedding, did we? That was a big thing recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we've done a lot of work for that for the Kamani family in Cheshire, usually with Kelly, because they'll have like gorgeous Christmas displays. And over COVID, they had quite a lot of parties. When people were allowed to your house for parties.
You just threw them right in it there.
We were all allowed to get together and that.
But they had like an
Parliament
amazing
Street.
Wonka party, and we got to do all like stuff for that. And then
Don't
they
say
had
that,
a
please.
like a
Honest to God.
Pim's Wimbledon party. That was amazing too. Yeah,
And you did all this?
we did all the stationery for those. Yeah,
We're going all
Can I come and work for you? I love all this.
yeah. But I went to drop the stationery off, not realizing who anyone was or anything like that. I thought it was just going to a normal house, and then I started driving into these grounds, and I was like, Where am I? And then I started panicking, and I was like, I shouldn't be here.
Sat down like that. Take a U-turn. Take a U-turn.
As soon as you can.
I'm glad you mentioned the celebrity thing because I've always thought where the hell do these themes come on? Like who's making them up? So I'm glad you touched on that. Last question is, what is the essential stationery for a wedding? In brackets, invites. What is the essential stationery? So when people come to you and say, well, what can I have? I'm getting married. I love your work. What would you advise me to get?
I mean, do you know, like, you've got all the things. You've got like save the date invite, and then you've got the stuff for on the day, and then you've got your menus, your place cards, your table names, your table plan, your guest books, confetti cones, all that kind of stuff. And the list is literally endless. Plus all your signs, your welcome signs, your confetti signs, your flip flop signs, all that. But if you're talking about what's your basic essentials.
Essential.
If you or essentially like on a budget or anything like that, invites and then place card. You could have one menu in the middle of the table, so you don't. Individual menus are huge at the moment because they make a place setting look amazing.
Yeah, they do.
But one menu in the table was always what everyone did for years, and you know that does the job. Usually 3-sided, so everyone can see a table name and a table plan.
Wow.
Probably what you need. Yeah.
I know you mentioned the shop before, and I don't think you're at the shop anymore. How big is this place where you store all this stuff? Because it must be like ginormous.
Warehouse. Toys R Us has
Oh my
moved
God.
out.
So it's all in my garage, and also then started to take over the house at the moment as well, because I had the shop for 11 years, and obviously there was tons of stock in there that I didn't even realise that I had. So that's all come home and into the garage. We didn't need the shop anymore. COVID changed appointments
Yeah, it
and
does,
how it was
doesn't it?
working.
Yeah.
We had customers who would travel all over the UK to come and see us, to come into the shop, and then when
Everything's
COVID
online
happened, everyone
now,
was like,
isn't it?
actually, you know, I can
Zoom.
send you this, I'll do you that. Yeah, and it worked
Yeah.
out better. Yeah.
I think a lot we did the same in the industry, didn't we? Like I used to meet people face to face, and then it sort of just changed my aspect on it. And I was like, no, what? Why are we meeting it up? We
Yeah.
can just conveniently just do Zooms.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And if you work weekends as well, I always did think like, how are brides fitting all this
There you
in?
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I was useless with all my appointments. I mean, I was thinking the other day, I don't know how I had time to plan a wedding, go into places.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, it is with his gift.
What is it? So obviously you've brought in stuff for us to have a little look at. We've got something for you.
I mean, it's a bit
Which is
embarrassing.
customary
It's
now.
a bit embarrassing after everything you've just showed
I know,
us.
yeah. Ours does not look the
I have
same.
got a little something for Beth. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
Well, actually, technically you as well, but sorry.
It's all right. Let it off.
you! Oh my god!
Well, I mean, I was waiting for an event or something.
This is heavy.
So this is one of our little baby planners. So you can document everything
my
of you and the new
God,
boy.
sound like Janice off Friends there. Thank you so much. I feel half embarrassed giving you this now.
I know, yeah. Don't give her that
you
cup
made
now.
up with me, come on.
Give her another. Give her two.
So much. This is honestly amazing.
You shouldn't have.
No, thank you so much.
That's so nice. That I think that shows a lot about you as a person, and which I think is why these are so important, these shows now, because we're getting to see the real people behind the things. Because like Mimi Bell said, sometimes people assume that she's like unapproachable or
Yeah.
not a human being or not a person, doesn't have morals, doesn't have whatever. This is showing it.
Well, I think in the wedding industry, we all put our heart and soul into it more than most jobs, because, you know, you've got to turn up no matter what, whatever's
Yeah.
going on in your
That's
life
true.
and in your background. And, you know, people forget that we do put our hearts and soul into it, don't they? So,
That is absolutely gorgeous.
gorgeous.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
I'm absolutely like, well, as I said to you
Give
before,
it a crappy little cup.
Yeah.
as I said to you before, I think I have been quite speechless with you today. I think partial of it is because of how talented you are, and I haven't got a huge knowledge. And again, we don't get to meet this like the likes of yourselves on a wedding day, but you behind the business and behind the brand, I think the reason why you are smashing it is because of you as
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
as a person.
Agreed.
And you saying about waking up all hours doing it for people, you know, obviously you can see you put your blood, I was gonna say bloody, you put your heart and soul into your work, and that gift there means a lot more than you think. So thank you so much for that. I really
Thank
do
you very
appreciate
much.
Thanks
it.
for having me.
But before you go, would you come back on again?
Yeah,
Before
absolutely.
we let you go.
Yeah.
Because we say it every time we get a guest on, we just feel like this first episode is like a warm up in terms of people getting to know you, and then for the second episode and maybe a third, it's more about what you're up to now and what's going on in life, and we can talk about things that are happening in the world and like trends and stuff like that. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
That's all right with me.
But is that okay with everyone?
Thank you
Meeting the
so
Janes. No, but thank you again for
I know,
coming
thank you so
down
much.
and
Thank you.
recording with us.
Yeah, and thank you to all of the listeners who tune in every week. It's getting up to 200 a week now we have listener-wise, which is actually creeping, I think. So thank you to every one of them as well.
Thank you.